If you're an iPhone user, you can now get the Up for Grabs app in the App Store or at bit.ly/upforgrabs app and receive the next Up for Grabs podcast before anyone else.
But Thomas charging through the midfield. Thomas, it's up for grabs now. Thomas, right at the end.
Hello, you are listening to It's Up for Grabs Now. This is the Arsenal podcast. I'm Alan Davis. I've got Ian Stone here with me tonight. Ian, good evening. Welcome. Ian's been supporting Arsenal since 1904.
Have I seen some things in my time? No woad, as we said last week.
And Tayo's back with us.
Hello, Alan. It's nice to be back.
Snowboarding.
So he said snowboarding, but I see he's actually been in Angola for the Africa Cup of Nations.
Following it closely, yeah.
How's Nigeria doing?
Lost in the first game, won in the second.
Who did they lose to?
They lost to... Oh, you just completely thrown me for a second.
I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Who did they lose to? We beat Benin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was looking forward to that game as well.
These countries have no idea.
Completely blank.
Is that a country?
Yeah, apparently.
It's a pub team.
Is that the one where Yakubu scored a penalty?
No, yeah, that's what...
What is that thing he does when he waves his fingers in front of his chest?
It's a bird of some description,
Why
isn't
does he do that?
And Elka does it as
well. It's a bird of Benin. Apparently. It's their national symbol. It's a finger bird.
I looked on the Africa Cup of Nations website, and Alex Song...
Egypt.
...is on there. They lost to Egypt.
Yeah,
oh, that's right,
3-1, yeah.
They were a goal up. Screamer as well.
Yeah.
Kanu came on at the end. He looks like Bill Cosby now.
He plays a bit
He's
like
got
Bill
all the
Cosby.
mobility of Bill Cosby. They're bringing on Cosby! Now they're in trouble. No, they got... Alex Song is down on the website, on the Africa Cup of Nations website, as Dimitri Song.
What?
Dimitri is his middle name.
That's not it. Oh, please. It's Alex
Dimitri.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
He's got some communist Russian blood in him.
Is that a communist?
I don't know if Arshavin knows about it. But we have got a Dimitri. His full name is Alex Dimitri Song Belong.
Oh, yeah. Song Belong was always...
And his uncle, who's supposed to be 32, is playing a centre-back.
Rigobert.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Is that his uncle?
Yeah, it's his uncle.
He's
That's
older
his uncle,
than 32.
but Dimitri's dad died when Dimitri was only 3 years old.
Right.
And Rigobert is a father figure for him and guided him into football.
And has actually just told him he's his uncle to make him feel better when it's really...
Having said that, Alexander's also a Russian name, isn't it, as well?
Alexander Dimitri Song Belong.
Song Belong.
What's going on over there?
Russian thing going on.
Is there a Russian thing going on in Cameroon? I
There's a
thought
Russian
all
thing
those
going
West
in
African
Africa,
countries were all French, weren't they?
The Russians kind of helped. This is turning into history lesson, not an Arsenal podcast, but the Russians did try and...
They certainly helped with Swapo.
What, going down the left wing?
How many podcasts have mentioned Swapo twice?
Oh, I'm very interested in Swapo.
Well, I'm learning about them every week.
You mentioned last week when I was in bed with the Fraulines, I was listening to your show.
Yeah, 4 Fraulines. How did that
Two on
go?
each
4
side
Fraulines in Val Thorens. Cheers, Keith.
Keith thought you were in bed with 4 Fraulines when you were snowboarding.
In the Alps.
Were there any Fraulines?
There was a couple of mademoiselles, I think.
Yeah. Did they fail to meet you at half time or something? Or what?
Keith, stop listening now, mate. You're going to upset yourself.
Met him on the mountain, but you did say about I did say about war-torn Angola the week before.
You had a go at me, and I felt bad.
You said it was an African stereotype.
Yeah.
And the next thing we knew, there was a massive shootout.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to apologise on behalf of the whole continent.
The first tournament to have a shootout before it starts.
Have you seen?
And it set other bad gags. My phone's full of them.
You waited a week.
I'll give it a week.
You waited
sent that to me. We thought we won't do it.
I thought it was disrespectful to the dead, obviously, to do that last week.
But how you see? I mean,
so nothing Haiti based this week either.
No, we'll wait for the dust
we
to
can't.
settle.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Can't do them now.
Do any of those sorts of jokes.
Cameroon won. I was a bit gutted about Cameroon winning because I was.
Well, I thought they might go out if they lose to Tunisia. When he's out this week, they go out. I mean, he might be available for Stoke in the cup at the weekend.
Russian
boy
Dimitri
back.
Ghana were winning 1-0 earlier on. Did they win that game? Today's game?
I don't know.
Is it on the telly?
It's on Eurosport.
Is it on Euro? I thought that was just tennis.
And speaking of atrocities committed at the Africa Cup of Nations, Did anyone see Tinkerbell's tackle that got him a red card?
He texted me. I haven't seen it.
See that?
Was it a bad tackle?
He was an X-rated.
And did Ibuhi still feign injury when he tackled someone else?
He jumped in 2-footed. So I don't know what it is about his sense of humour that goes down so well at London
He's a bit of a trickster.
But back home in Africa, they're not having any of it.
He got up with a who me face as well, didn't he? Yeah, it's brilliant.
He took this bloke out.
Yeah, sent off.
Sent off
straight
away.
red. So it's what, one match ban, or
come back fresh?
Well, no, I don't know. Maybe it's a 3-match ban.
I don't know. I'm not sure. You
Should be a 3-year ban if you've seen it. He takes the bloke's Achilles out and eats it.
It's a shocker.
It's an Africa thing.
The really bad news today is unfortunately that Michael Essien's got injured, and of course you never expect that for. You never want a player to get injured, etc.
My 8-year-old, I said Essien got injured. He went, "Oh really? How long for?" I've taught him well, haven't I? Really
well. How long's he out for, Dad?
It's beautiful.
I watched Dimitri.
27 years old. Oh, he's out for 6 months.
Dimitri's like Essien, you know. In the Premier League, they can stand over the ball and put their arms out, and no one can get it off of them.
Yeah,
because they're the strongest player on the pitch. That doesn't work at the Africa Cup of Nations.
Burkina Faso were enormous.
This is for 4 blokes from Burkina Faso come over and basically spear tackle you like they did with O'Driscoll playing with the Lions. They pick you up and throw you out of the way.
They're big boys.
They're like avatars.
All used to their thighs, Ian. All used to their thighs. Everyone in the African Nations Cup is thighs.
Some of the shorts on those people. What is it with the skinny shirts, by the way, in the Africa Cup of Nations?
It's hot.
Skin tight lycra.
They've got the physiques to show it off.
Yeah, they have.
Not going to get it on Rooney, are you?
It looks good.
It looks a bit hot gossip, if you ask me. It's a bit ladies' dance wear. They've been getting their kits from Pineapple Studios. They look like netball players or something. Get a proper shirt on.
I wouldn't say that to their faces, is all I'm saying.
Covered in sweat.
You, mate, look like a netball player.
You look like a netball player. You look like a kind of a cross between a netball player and an avatar.
Yeah.
I've been to see Avatar today.
Yeah, okay.
I've got them on my mind. Yeah, they're massive.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're 10 foot tall, yeah. So they're blue, yeah. That's right.
Damien said, "Is it Dances with Smurfs?" And I thought that was unnecessarly cynical.
Funny though.
A 10-year project. I've never seen more people on the credits of a film in my life.
No.
There's more people who worked on that film than there are coaching staff at the Arsenal. I don't know if you've seen the team photo this season. It has a row of players, row of coaches. Row of players, row of coaches. Why are the coaches in the team picture?
They've got individual
physios as well. Pat Rice and a row of lesbians.
Isn't that other guy, Primero, what's his name?
I don't know, Boro Primero. But all I want to know is who's responsible for all of them getting injured all the time? How did Ramsey and Nasri injured last week in training?
On the way to training.
What are they doing training them for?
Well, they're playing, aren't they? They're playing.
They don't need training, do they? They need a rub down and putting in cotton wool. Everyone's injured. We're down to our last 6 midfielders and strikers. They've all got to play every game for a fortnight.
Walcott's back.
Is he? Oh, good.
Walcott's
for how
back.
long?
He shut his finger in the door when he got out.
For the next game. He's back for the next game, at least. First half, anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and Bentner's back.
In
2 weeks, let me guess. In 2 weeks, yeah.
Even Wenger was finding that funny. He kept saying he'll be back in 2 weeks.
What is happening? How did Nasri get injured and Ramsey get injured? That's what I don't understand. I'm starting to believe the bloke who was a friend of a cousin who used to work, the guy lived next door to someone who...
But he says he's analysed
West Ham,
everything.
who says all our training is rubbish.
We've analysed everything. He doesn't know the answer. The answer is that you're buying 5'8" players who are made of fiberglass, basically.
They're trying to keep up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but, you know, we're getting a few back.
Well, we now need Thomas Rositzky, who, by the way, I've had a tweet saying he looks like KD Lang.
Another lesbian look-alike.
I know.
How many of our teams are like slightly sexually ambiguous? It's a bit much, isn't it?
It's a worry about the number of lesbians there are in the side.
Can you win the title with lesbians? Alan Hansen once said that.
You can't win anything with lesbians.
That's what he said, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's been proven wrong time and time again. Sol Campbell, Sol Campbell is back in the club.
Yeah.
Is he fit?
He hasn't played, is he?
I mean, what you're asking is his shirt tight enough? Or is he packing his shorts?
I sat next to him.
Biggest arse in football.
He has got Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Sorry, massive arse. Although I have to say,
retired.
I said retired. Okay, fair enough.
I wouldn't mind him up front at the moment.
Are still playing in football. I didn't mean in that way. So I know because I sat next to him. I did a radio thing with him, and he's what I would say about Sully is it's a brooding presence. When he sat next to you, he was. I just thought I don't want to say anything in case he just turns around and punches me in the face
or bursts into tears and leaves
halfway through the recording.
You know what? I don't fancy this. He's got that Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan tendency that maybe he'll be brilliant. Maybe he'll leave.
Yeah, but you know what? Rocket Ronnie's a good snooker player once in a while.
No, I'm very pleased to have Sol back, I must say. And I'm looking forward to him heading all those long throws away against Stoke in the Cup.
And he'll play as well, won't he? Playing against Stoke.
That's what he's been signed for.
Him and Sylvester.
We've got Stoke away. Sol. You don't fancy some heading practice, do you?
Yeah.
It's quite windy up there, and we need you to head everything away. Just head everything out of our box. The boys will take care of the rest.
He's desperate to play.
Arsene's seen him in training, and as we established, Arsene knows one or two things more about the team than we do.
Yeah, that's why he's in charge. We're available.
Waiting for
so far the call hasn't come.
Well, he didn't listen to you about Thomas Vermaelen.
I suggested Vermaelen for the holding role, and he put in some child from the youth team.
Who knew? He did all right though. Eastman did all right.
Incredibly well.
Yeah, he did all right.
I mean, I thought he'd stick him into that. That used to be a nightmare game, Bolton away. He sticks Craig Eastman in.
Yeah, the smaller we get...
You were bigging him up because he's from South London, as if there's some connection between you.
Yeah, he's just...
the smaller we get, the more we can cope with Bolton, as it turns out. When we had a massive team, we couldn't cope with them at all.
You have to get it on the floor and pass it between their legs.
It's a Beatio thing again.
I liked Arshavin. Do you see Arshavin when he went in the wall? We had a free kick and he went in the wall and he went exactly in between Zach Knight's legs. He's going... He says to Eduardo, they won't even know I'm there.
Zach Knight grabbed... Who did Zach Knight grab? There was somebody Zach Knight grabbed. He looked a lot bigger than him.
He grabbed Carlos Vela.
Ah, that's right. He was having
Vela was going up for a header, and he had a look at Zach Knight, and he just jumped into him.
At least he tried to grab him a bit more manfully than Matthew Taylor did when he pulled.
I used to like Matthew Taylor.
He pulled Jesus' hair.
I used to like Matthew Taylor. I know.
I quite liked him as well.
He put his knee on his neck. I didn't like all that and kept it.
What is it? They went after Cess, didn't they? 2 clear penalties we should have had, which obviously we're never going to get again.
No, every time we ever get one like that,
Eduardo embargo's still in place. Clearly, filled down. Jaskalainen took Cess' legs away.
Even Jamie Redknapp said it was a penalty. Jamie Redknapp was quite nice to us, wasn't he?
He's got the hots for Jesus. He has got the hots.
He does. They had a thing in the paper today, and the top 10 midfield players, and is Cesc as good as like any of these players? And Jamie Redknapp had him in there, and Andy Townsend didn't have him in the top 10 midfield players of his time. And he said, "Yeah, but he couldn't have coped. How would he have coped with Souness elbowing him in the face?
Well, Souness wouldn't be able to lay a glove on him.
He wouldn't be able to touch him, would he?
That's the whole point of Cesc. You cannot see him.
It's not actually allowed.
He's like the Holy Spirit.
It did annoy me that Redknapp was really, really reasonable. Have you seen on Twitter? Actually, you can follow Jesus. It's actually quite funny. I think it's.
What's he saying?
He says things like, "No, I don't want bloody Mary tonight," and things like that. It's really old jokes that you lot have been doing for years. It's a really good one. But no, it really annoyed me that Redknapp was so reasonable on Sunday. It was
tiny little current of a tie knot, though, wasn't it?
I can't stop looking at it.
He lent one to.
I don't think he can get that.
He lent his strides to Gary. Who was he with? Gary Speed.
Gary Speed.
It's called a peanut. It's called a peanut at my son's school. What you do is you pull the tie really hard.
Peanut and
really
2 walnuts.
Tight, really tight, and then you can't get it out of your neck.
Louise pulls his tie really hard. I think Louise is hanging off his tie in the morning. Is that tight enough yet, Jamie? More, Louise! Hanging over the banisters.
When are we going on our Thompson holiday?
We're just looking forward to
it. You know that magazine they launched, Icon? It's gone bust.
Who'd have thought? What was it about? It was very expensive.
It's the Premiership footballers going on holiday.
Adverts for Bentleys and Rolexes.
Right. And
no Thomas Cook ads in it.
No Thomas Cook ads.
Oddly.
Fair point.
The wrong market. But in true Redknapp style, Jamie bailed out a year before it finally went under.
Okay.
He saw what was coming, and his dad rang him. "I'll get out of there, son, if I were you."
Harry red-handed, eh?
It's essentially a magazine just for extremely rich young footballers.
Well, it was. It doesn't exist anymore.
Right. Okay.
That has gone absolutely pear-shaped. Now, speaking of Sol, Arsene has been bigging him up and saying that he thinks he could play his way into the World Cup squad. But he's also said that about Jack Wilshere. So it's going to be an interesting World Cup squad that Arsene's picked. I said to Harry Redknapp, "Do you think Sol could play in the World Cup?" And he said he reckons Ledley King is a better bet as cover. And I'm thinking, are they the 2 most deluded managers? Is there some sort of Paralympics version of the World Cup?
Well, Sol's fitter than both Rio Ferdinand and Ledley King at present, isn't he? And Sol hasn't played a game in about 4 months.
We'd have a good back 4, wouldn't we? You know, because in the Paralympics, I think they do allow people who are a bit mad in, don't they?
That's true. Mental
health problems count.
Yeah, but no, there was a
Tinkerbell right back.
In the England squad. Is that going to work? Oh, for us, we talked about.
Because I know that, because I do remember there was a thing about the Spanish basketball team fielded some people who were pretending to be mad.
That's true. And they
got in and they won a medal, didn't they, or something? And then they did a test on them. So, are you actually mad?
Are you mad?
Are you proper mad?
And they went,
I don't know how they were feigning it.
I was going to say.
Putting their shorts on back to front and going, I can't help it, I'm mad.
Taking their arse out once in a while during the game.
Look at me, I'm mad. Dribbling a bit, banging her head on the wall. And they said, no, you're faking it. And they got caught.
Yeah.
So, Sol's got to be proper mad if he's going to go.
So it depends how well he plays. Depends how much he plays as well. Because Gallas and Vermaelen were great at the weekend, weren't they? Kevin Davis only won about 2 headers in the entire game.
Well, they are superb. We need them for every match.
We do. Is that going to be possible?
I said that everyone got injured at once.
Yeah, so don't.
Traore had another shocker.
He's all right, Troy. He just doesn't know where to stand, does he?
Yeah, but
that makes him not all right then.
Defence, doesn't it?
As a left back,
sort of flat. He's learning on the job, the kid.
He is learning on the job. You know what? I think Traore would benefit from a manager who was more defensive minded.
But the thing was,
watching from the bench.
We lent him to Portsmouth for a year, and they didn't play him at left back. They played him on the wing.
On the wing, yeah.
I think they worked out on the first week he didn't know where to stand.
But he's a very good crosser of the ball. So
he's a brilliant crosser of the
ball. What we need to do is get somebody to fill in behind him and go on, son.
But Gale's back now, isn't he? Gale's back.
Well, he was. He came on.
Martin Tyler referred to him as a naturally fit person.
Not for the last 15 games.
Someone who's been out injured for 3 months. I question your analysis, Martin.
Yeah.
But I think also, I don't think it really gives credit to Gale for his fitness work must be exceptional. Not naturally fit. It made it sound like it was a sort of category of person, like an NFP, naturally fit person. Gale Clichy, NFP.
Some people are more fit than others. I mean,
well observed, Ian.
Apparently. No, that's what I've noticed.
Half of our squad are more fit than the other half.
Every other team is fitter than us.
In the treatment room watching CBeebies. We need a bit of George Graham. He took the TV out of the treatment room when he went to Tottenham, and if you came in, you had to come in at 9 and you weren't allowed to leave till 5.
Is that right?
Within a week, all of them were fit.
All right. That's what we need.
Yeah.
No, Lee Dixon said that Patrick Vieira wasn't a naturally fit person. That's what he said. He didn't recover in the same way quickly enough as well as some of the others.
He's not an NFP like
No,
Gale.
he's not an NFP. Whereas Gale is. Yeah, and Theo isn't. And we could go through the team.
We can go through it. I was going to say Song's an NFP.
Is he?
Yeah. Dimitri.
Physically.
Dimitri is. Yeah, he doesn't miss many games. Cesc, they can only stop him by hacking him.
I didn't like the way Matthew Taylor put his knee on his neck and kept it there.
Very good.
Because I used to like Matthew Taylor. Like I say, I used to look at him. He was like, to me,
how did you look at him, Ian?
Young Peter Davidson in All Creatures Great and Small.
Young Peter Davidson.
That's how I saw him.
Now listen, we were hoping before the Africa Cup of Nations, we were hoping that it would have a debilitating effect on Chelsea, and it's good to see that's happening. Because I thought they looked really poor against Sunderland.
Yeah. It didn't work out.
It was a gimme. Sunderland didn't have any central defenders.
What's happened to Sunderland? They've just gone to pieces.
Well, they just got their asses kicked all around Stamford Bridge for hours. They missed about 4 sitters apart from scoring 7.
Ashley fluked one as well.
He fluked one in. So it's good to see that they are weakened by the absence of their key players to the African Cup of Nations.
Have been 12
They're just bringing another 4 28-year-old £5 million a year internationals. But if we beat Bolton tomorrow night, we do go top.
2-0. We need to win by 2.
We need to win by 2.
Yeah, and I can see that.
You're going to do that?
I feel very confident. But then
I'm very confident.
You're very confident?
Yeah, I think we're going to win 3-0, and I reckon Eduardo's going to get a couple.
I'm going to win 6. All right.
7-1. 7-1.
I'll take 7-1.
We had a clean sheet. We had a clean sheet.
Yeah, well, that's because Manuel Almunia is a genius.
You Manuel apologist.
Do you know what? I feel I should stick up for him.
So, football cliches, all right? Tell me, what does this mean? You hear this virtually every game. Goalkeepers do that in training every day. Commentators always say it. You know exactly what it means?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
It's when they fall over and save one, get up and save another one. They love it. They always say
it. All commentators know what goalkeepers do in training of course they do that in training every day. Again, giving no credit whatsoever. There was some astonishing save. I tell you it was the Arsenal Player of the Week, Boaz Myhill.
0-0 at home to Hull. Because I hate them both, and so 0-0 at home.
Robbie Keane did have one from 3 yards out, and he hit Boaz in the head. And then the commentator said, of course, goalkeepers do that in training every day. I think it was Motson. He must have said that in every game he's watched since the season. He's got no idea what goalkeepers do in training every day.
No.
Most goalkeepers have their hair braided, I think, in the Premier League. Almunia, in training every day, must run to the halfway line about with his eyes shut, because that appears to be what he's doing when he comes off his line.
There was what? Do you remember that look? Do you remember that look Gallas gave him?
Getting up and saving a rebound. Yeah. They do that in training every day.
Do you remember that look that Gallas gave him? Utter contempt.
Which one? What, when he didn't come out?
You know what I mean? Yeah, when Gallas looked at him like,
we were watching it on the TV.
Yeah, when he didn't come out.
I came round to mine to watch it, and the ball's bouncing in the box, so we go, keeper!
Yeah, and so was I. I was at home.
Where is he?
Where was he? He didn't come out.
Shall I come
that's because he's been getting abuse from you and you, saying don't come out all the time. He's been listening, and he's thinking he's got in his head.
He's a sensitive soul, isn't he?
I've never abused him for coming to the edge of his 6-yard box.
That's right.
He never picks it up unless it's bounced
You're
twice.
not holding midfield player.
Gallus give him that look, the look that was the reason why he couldn't be the captain.
That was
that's how he looks.
I can't hide my contempt for you.
I think you're a bunch of idiots.
No good at all.
He's not the one who's going to put an arm around your shoulder when you've dropped one in your own goal.
Every time Almunia shanks
burn your car in the car park.
Every time Almunia shanks a clearance, there's a big from everyone in the ground apart from Ian, who's there clapping his hands.
Yeah, get it out. He's got it out. It's away. It's not in the goal. I'm happy with that. I'm a pragmatist when it comes to goalkeepers.
They do that training every day.
Yeah, they do. What, shank one? Yeah.
So anyway, he's going to be in the team, but I think Fabianski will be in for the cup tie. Do you think?
Well, Fabianski also had a bit of a mare last season, didn't he, Chelsea? So, you know, we don't... Do you trust any of them?
Forgive and forget, Forgive and forget.
What do you mean, forgive and forget? It was semi-final, and I'm saying Vito Mannoni, I mean, I like him, but he's also made mistakes, so...
The Godfather.
Fabianski will play at Stoke.
Yeah, I would have thought so, yeah.
And Sylvestre and Sol Campbell.
Sylvestre and Sol Campbell.
Sylvan Sol, that fills you with dread, doesn't it?
No, not against Stoke. No, that's
what
exactly...
about Philippe Senderos? Is he ever going to play for us again? Any news on that?
What
Rangers turned down his wage demands.
Rangers? I thought it was Celtic.
Philip Senderos.
Celtic are in for him.
Celtic are in for him now, yeah.
Philip Senderos should take what he can get, I feel, personally.
Well, he should go and play at Celtic. He'll be a world beater in the Scottish Premier League.
He's got Giorgio Samras.
Good enough for
Anthony Stokes can't stop scoring, by the way.
Who's he playing for?
He's for Hibs now.
Is he? I thought he moved to Falkirk or something.
He did. He scored every week. I mean, there was one website I used to look on and had an Arsenal forum on. And oh god, they were all idiots. I stopped looking at it. But there was one bloke who had it in for Wenger. Wenger?
Who's Wenger?
Who's Wenger?
He used to play for us, didn't he?
He had it for Wenger in a big way. Wenger. And he kept saying we should sign Anthony Stokes. Sign Stokes, you're going to lose him. You're an idiot. He should resign. He's got no idea about developing young players.
Is that what he said? He's got
anyway, he signed for Sunderland and he couldn't cut it. But now he's banging him in for Hibs. That's all I know about Scottish football.
I saw some stat about Craig Eastman being like the 6th English-born player that he's brought through this season, that he's played this season.
I mean, it's all in preparation for this change of rules, isn't it? When you're going to have 8 players in your Champions League squad who have come through your academy or some change of rules.
Yeah, but Cesc would qualify, wouldn't he?
A few of our boys qualify, a few of the foreign boys qualify.
Marida's been there for years. Is he staying, by the way, Marida?
The last all English team in a cup final. Do you know who that was?
Arsenal '93.
All English team.
Yeah.
That's very good. Is that right? I don't know.
No, it was Crystal Palace 1990.
How are Eagles getting on?
1-0, Victor Moses.
Victor Moses, that's what I said. I tell you what, I'm liking the look of him. I saw the way he scored. It was a great goal.
He's a very talented boy.
He is.
A very talented boy.
Do you know his backstory?
No,
go on.
He's
backstory.
He was found in the bull rushes, wasn't he?
He's been watching those Wire DVD extras again.
They floated him down. Backstory. What's the subtext?
You're not far wrong. He's an orphan, and his parents were killed when he was 11.
Really?
And he moved over to Croydon, and they put him in school in South London.
In Nigeria, that was.
So he's a Nigerian in South London now.
Yeah.
Playing for Crystal Palace, and he's on his way to the Arsenal. We're going to sign him. We're going to sign him.
Are we going to sign him?
You know this, do you?
It's his birthright.
That's what you said about Sean Wright Phillips.
That's still birthright Phillips.
It should have been. He should have been.
I used to write in the Times, and I wrote about Sean Wright Phillips, and I referred to him as SWP.
Yes.
And they subbed it out. Assumably, can't talk today. I've called Wenger, and now I can't say presumably.
Why they sub it out?
Well, presumably because they thought it was some reference to the Socialist Workers' Party.
Oh my! Really?
So, yeah. I mean, I suspect some computerised sub at the time.
You got in quite a lot of trouble when you were writing for the Times.
Yeah, Man United fans threatened to burn it down.
They loved you.
Burn the Times down.
I made that up. Things I liked at the weekend included Mancini losing. No, I've got nothing against him.
Mancini.
But Man City losing.
Mancini's another one.
Mancini at Man City. Arsene at Arsenal.
Arsene Wenger.
Mancini at Man City.
Yeah, they were rubbish.
You
Man
see?
City. They were rubbish. Everton played very well. It wasn't a fluke
Everton
against
were
us.
cracking.
Moyes is pumped at the moment,
Yeah,
isn't he? He's loving it.
He's very excited.
He's loving it. He loved beating them, and he couldn't resist mentioning Lescott.
Yeah.
And fair enough,
good.
because they acted appallingly, didn't they?
Yeah,
It
but
wasn't-
I think he strung him along. How much did he get for Lescott?
110
250 million quid or
Yeah,
something?
lot more than he's worth. I think.
Quite a lot more than he's worth.
I would say, yeah.
Fellaini's a brute. I mean, he kicked us lot.
Did you see that bit of a skill he did, though, when Bellamy ran towards him? It was nice.
That was nice, yeah.
For somebody
Defensive
7 foot
midfielders do that in
Fellaini's,
training every day.
Do it in training every
Yeah,
day. They do it in training every day.
Fellaini's a brute.
Ask Motson what they do in training every day. I don't know. I only know what a goalkeeper's
Hansen
doing training every
suggested
day.
that. Did you know that Watson's a Tottenham fan?
No.
Did you not see that match of the
I
day?
haven't. I've never
Is he
heard
not?
that.
He's a Barnet
He's a
fan.
Barnet fan.
Barnet.
That's what I've heard.
Hansen
Spurs
said
fan in the
on-
background says he's a Barnet fan.
Hansen said he was a... Oh, well, shut up then.
Hansen, what's Hansen know about
We
him?
know that Tilsley supports Man U standardly.
Well, it's just because
So
he's
obvious.
there every week commentating on them and saying how happy he
I
is.
used to think Peter Drury was one of us, but he's not. He's been a bit snidely recently.
Who's the one who says the player's full name when they shoot?
Peter Drury.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Benayoun, Yossi Benayoun! Why does he do that?
Just to
I quite like
remind
that.
his
When you
listening
did that,
family.
He does it when he does the full name when they shoot.
Well, I'm looking forward to songs.
Paul Scholes! We know it's Paul Scholes.
Alexander Dimitri Songbilong.
That's the one I want.
Yeah,
Alexander Dimitri Songbelong! I wanted to say Stuart Little! I watched Man United once, years ago. I was on holiday in Egypt. And I watched Man United play Juventus in the European Cup. And the commentators, it was very, very fast. Egyptian. I don't know what language that is. And it would just say the player's name over and over and over again. Right? So it'd be Gary Neville.
Well, while he's got the ball.
Yeah, until he passed it.
Oh, brilliant.
And then it'd be Ryan Giggs. It was hilarious.
I watched a Scotland game once in I think it was Malaysia or Singapore, and the guy found it funny. They were all called McDonald or McStay or McPhee or whatever it was. And after about 6 or 7 Mcs, they both start laughing.
Alexander Dimitri Songbelong! He's got to be able to anticipate that shot early.
Yes, yeah.
Mind you, you can tell when Alex is winding up for a song. For a shot.
He's not even drinking at the moment. That's the thing.
That's the trouble.
It's that pomegranate juice.
Why? Now, I
drinking.
watched a film the other day that was really terrible called Wanted. The only reason I watched it is because Angelina Jolie is in it. She looks unbelievably hot all the way through the film.
Yeah.
Naturally fit person.
Yeah, she's a
She's
naturally
an
fit
NFP.
person. Alexina Jolie. Alexina Jolie, listen to me.
We're going to have to re-record this.
I can't even talk. But anyway, it's about a fraternity of assassins. It's one of the worst ones I've ever seen. It's about a fraternity of assassins.
Why did you
who
go
have
see
the
this?
ability? I didn't know it was on Sky Movies.
Oh, right, okay.
And they have the ability to slow down time.
Oh, yeah, handy.
And so when they're under pressure, they can see a speeding bullet, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I watched Barcelona play Seville at the weekend. Messi is an assassin out of Wanted. Something I knew there was something about him that wasn't right.
Yeah.
He can slow down time.
He can.
He scored 2 goals, and he appeared to slow down time, do a bit of juju on the goalkeeper. I don't know how he pulled it off.
Well, Kanu can do that as well, can't he?
Kanu can do
Jesus
that.
could
Yeah.
do that.
Jesus can do that. Yeah. But they're all from the same fraternity of assassins.
Right.
Now, we haven't got on a regular spot of Ebue's Tinkerbell.
We haven't got a
Unfortunately,
programme, have we?
I haven't got any programmes
Yeah.
at the moment, so I haven't got any revelations from within the Arsenal squad about who Tinkerbell is. It's Ebue, as we know. But I do have an email from Sid, who says, it's a long tradition in the theatre that when Tinkerbell drinks the poison meant for Peter Pan and her little light starts to flicker out, all the children are asked to clap their hands, and thanks to their efforts, the tiny fairy recovers. Do you think next time our little trickster's rolling around the pitch in danger of imminent death,
Genius.
the stadium announcer could ask everyone to clap your hands if you believe in fairies, and hey presto, Ebue, brackets Tinkerbell, is magically restored? Just a thought.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
Sid, who describes herself as a gooner from Italy.
Does Tinkerbell actually feign injury is what I want to know. If Tinkerbell rolling about, get up, you fairy.
Most fouled fairy in pantomime.
I was going to say, gets it, yeah.
That's all very well, you know, when Tinkerbell's down amongst us humans, but when she's back in fairyland, it doesn't wash.
Two-footed tackles back in
dives
fairyland.
in absolutely dirty. Another email from Paul David Johnson, full name there.
I thought you were going to say Paul Davis then.
Paul David Johnson!
Alexander Dimitri Song-Belong! Arsenal lookalikes, common thread each week. Eduardo Prince.
Not bad.
Not bad.
No.
Around the time 1986, sort of was under the cherry moon period.
He's got Rosicki.
Bit less thighs,
Thomas Rosicki, any ugly girl. So I think it's a bit.
Any ugly. Not even specific. Just any ugly.
KD Lang.
It looks like any ugly girl. Now.
Wait a minute.
I don't know if that's fair.
Well,
Thomas Rosicki, Mark Owen, we've had. That's been going. That's been running. He's been take that.
Yeah.
And he's also that's why he didn't play for a year because he was on a world tour with Gary Barlow.
We had Sammy Nasri and Ferris Bueller on the website.
Sammy Nasri, Ferris Bueller. Well, Thomas Rosicki, KD Lang, I'm prepared to go with.
But any ugly girl.
Here's one I really I don't know if it's right. Sammy Nasri, Michael McIntyre.
Oh, a little bit. A little bit,
it?
yeah. Slightly fat face. Have a look at the photo I put up on the Facebook. Have a look. Yeah, it's a little bit McIntyre.
Sammy Nasri, Michael McIntyre.
Yes.
Never seen in the same room.
Yeah. Yes.
Another email from Darren Morrison. What's your favourite kit? He says the yellow kit with the zigzaggy thing.
Yeah.
He hates it.
He hates it.
Yeah, I love it.
Classic.
I didn't like
We
that.
like that one, don't we?
No, I don't.
I've got a tracksuit top of it.
I've got the actual shirt.
I've got the shirt as well. If
Makes
we're going to be like that.
Yeah, I am being like that.
Right,
The tracksuit top is not the same as the actual
Well, I've got the
kit,
shirt
is it?
as well.
Yeah, but where is it?
I'll wear it next week.
Who's got the shirt with
you should be wearing
Vivas?
it now.
Who's got the shirt with
Yours.
Vivas on it? Is that you?
He's got the Vivas
He's got
shirt.
the Vivas shirt.
That's funny.
Just wears that to wind tail up.
Yeah, it does. He really winds you up. You hate Vivas. Actually, there's someone sent me an email here who hates Vivas. He's put him in Arsene Wenger's all-time worst signings.
Well, that was Leeds away, man. Leeds
this is not really fair because he's got Reyes in it, he's got Ali Adier in it. I don't think it's fair.
Well, Reyes didn't do a lot. And
has he got Cabu Diawara in it?
He's got Diawara at centre forward with Jeffers.
Leeds again, Cabu Diawara. He sought the post himself.
Yeah.
Oleg Lushny's in it. Well, I think that's a bit unfair.
That's not fair on the horse.
He's got Ali Adier in the team and on the bench. I don't think he's thought that through.
Who's in goal? Is that Mooney in goal? No, Richard Wright, I can see that.
Ty, talk me through Craig Eastman's eyebrows.
It's a young black thing.
Yeah.
Young black South London.
How many little shaving lines has he got in those? Two
for each of the times he's played for us. Every time he gets a game,
he cuts his eyebrow.
A little nick in his eyebrow.
Is it just one side he's got them?
It's just one side.
How do you do that? Do you have a really thin razor? How do you get
I'll show you next week. No, it's a little nick. It's a little nick.
You nick it out.
Just after you've done the swirls on the back of your head, kind of design.
So he's got two lines in there. Can you identify the barber he's gone to by the angle?
You can. I know the one in Thornton Heath exactly. Yeah, you can tell. It's a signature.
Do you think he's going to play tomorrow night, Craig Eastman? Do you think he's going to get a few games?
Him, didn't he?
Why not? He's at home.
Playing. And Fabregas likes playing with him, doesn't he? Because
is that what he said?
Well,
he said he's a naturally fit person. I like playing with him.
It frees him up. Fabregas was outstanding the weekend.
You don't need to free Jesus up.
No, they say you need a holding midfield player.
Yeah, you do need a holding midfield player. I thought you put Thomas Vermaelen in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sit in front of the back four.
Not going to happen. No, he's
Aerial
in the back
bombardment.
He's in the back.
Are you listening?
Yeah, but then he went on a long run up front. Thomas Vermaelen took him 25 minutes to get back.
Yeah, he was puffing a bit.
Could see why he's not in a holding.
Gallas went for a long run up front and then shot another look of contempt at everyone around him.
Yeah, when they didn't chip it onto his head.
He's taken over from Thierry. He's taken over from Thierry for that look of absolute disgust, that Gallic disgust. Yeah. I like that.
Ty, what about this thing? Someone sent us an email, Steve Fisher sent us an email saying that you were telling a story about a dog ending a player's career and you didn't get to the end of it.
I didn't get to it. A dog came...
What sort of dog?
You got to the end of it just there. In 1975, a goalkeeper had his career ended by a dog. It was when we were talking about when me and Keith was on.
It's quite an interesting one, I thought.
Yeah, what sort of dog?
I don't know what sort of dog it was.
Well, according to Steve Fisher's email, it was a black and white terrier.
Right.
He says it had invaded the field of play, which I think is a bit strong. Yeah. I would say ran onto rather than invaded. A lone dog.
Put a flag down.
It could have been sent on.
I don't really think he's really taken the field, has he?
So this dog ran on the pitch and
Brentford centre-half,
Peter
Gelson, playing in centre-half for Brentford, passed the ball to the goalkeeper, Chick Brodie. I thought that was a Scottish comedian, but anyway.
Chick
Murray, that was that. And
it was an action hero.
He went to pick the ball up, and the dog went for him. The ball went out for a corner, and Brodie had a shattered kneecap.
Blimey, what sort of... That's
a
horrible dog.
That's a horrible dog.
Well, he must have just headbutted him or something in the knee.
So he must have turned nastily.
That dog.
He's also got a couple of others there. My favourite one is Alex Stepney, ex-Man United goalkeeper. Apparently dislocated his jaw shouting at his own defenders.
You'd actually want to see that
something that will never happen to Almunia.
No, I shouldn't think so. No.
He does it in the art of mime. That's how Almunia communicates with our back four.
Almunia shouts at his defenders from behind them after he's run past them with his eyes shut. So I think we've run out of things to talk about, really. I can't actually speak properly this week.
It's really good for presenters. Lack of
we go top tomorrow.
We're going to go top
I'm sick of this month of detoxing. I'm absolutely sick of it.
It's affected you.
Next week I'm having a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc before we start.
Alan speaking perfectly. He's the correct level of
Villa away is ending my detox.
Arsene Wenger. Well, that's ridiculous.
Wenger. Mancini, I thought was wrong.
Mancini,
innit?
Mancini, is it?
Yes.
You got something here about Andy Townsend in the mail.
Andy Townsend. No, I was just saying Andy Townsend didn't.
Just Andy Townsend. Full stop.
I just want to have a go because he didn't put Fabregas in the top 10.
I know what I wanted to bring
top 10,
up.
what, current midfielder?
No,
in the Premier League?
players that he's played with.
Just before we go, just to add to Van Horstelrooy, might be going to join Harry Crooknap.
Yeah.
Redknapp can still run the team from jail, can't he?
Yeah,
how'd you get that phone, Redknapp?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's got the Avon Barksdale.
It's a burner.
You know when they do the UEFA A licence?
Yeah.
Part of that is done from behind bars.
Just in case.
In case you get done.
Yeah, I heard
that was
Van
him.
Nistelrooy.
Yeah, him and Teddy Sheringham will just the two most hateful players to ever play in the Premiership. Both play for Man U, both play for Tottenham.
Van Nistelrooy playing for Spurs. Imagine the reception.
I thought they had enough strikers already.
No, Paul Pavlyuchenko doesn't move, does he? He's just...
that was a good buy.
Yeah.
£14 million.
We got the right Russian.
They've done to him here what happens to anyone in Russia who gets sacked, basically. He went home from training. He went home from training. His key didn't work.
Yeah. Cleared out his stuff.
They're going to do a Quincy Owusu-Abaye on him.
What happened
he went to Russia.
He got sent to Russia, never seen again.
I saw the boss wants a word, and the word was Moscow.
See ya. Don't be late for training there.
Yeah. I fear for him. He didn't have Arshavin to protect him. He could be lynched out there. I'm a bit worried.
All right, boys. I'm going to wrap this shambles up. I'm going to go and have some kind of elocution lessons. Email us up for grabs at playbackmedia.co.uk. Twitter us at Arsenal Podcast. We will see you next week when we might be top of the league.
See you at Bolton tomorrow.
See you later.
Ta-da.